Good?
Yeah, I'm good.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here for the first ever chick on the show, or woman, lady, girl, Samantha Bremner. I know you said not to call you Samantha, but let's keep it... Nah, Sammy Bremner, how you going?
Good, thanks for having me. It's good to be here, especially the first girl on. Very exciting.
It's so epic. I mean, you should be so proud. It's like one of the biggest shows in the world, and you are the first girl.
I know, it's basically like Ellen DeGeneres, I find.
How's the week been for you? You know, Women in League, 10 years, and I feel like most people are really embracing it. Has it been a good week for you?
It's been a really busy week. I've been involved in the Women in League week before, in the past 6 years that I've been involved in rugby league, but it's just growing, and this week's been pretty full on. We've been having a lot of support and things from the NRL, from Women in League itself, from networks and everything that just wants us to be involved and have our opinion on the week and want us to know what our involvement is and all that sort of stuff. So it's really been really good. Do you ever sit back and you're like, you might have been on the footy show, or you're on NRL.com and all that kind of... Do you sit back and go, man, like 3 years ago, this was nothing? I think it's one of those things where you don't realise the game, the women's game, and yourself are growing. You just sort of go with it. Well, at least that's where my mindset is. I just sort of roll with it and see where I end up, and then it's not until like you go on NRL.com and you watch your little journey in a clip, in a 4-minute clip, you think, oh wow, I remember back then, and look where I am now, and you get a little bit proud, but there's always so far to go as well.
And so for yourself, I mean, rugby league for women, it's one of those things where for so many years it was a demographic that loves the sport but never really got noticed. It never really had a voice. For yourself, have you been a rugby league fan from day dot, as a kid, or did you grow into it through touch footy and all that kind of stuff?
I've always been a rugby league fan. So my dad played for the Cronulla Sharks.
Yep.
My brother grew up playing. My dad was the coach at Helensburgh Tigers, which is where I live. And I used to go alongside him as a little girl and just hang around and love the environment, love the culture, love the game. I always wanted to play growing up, but instead I did any sport possible except rugby league. I think my mum was a bit conscious of the fact that she didn't want me to play with boys because I was and still am a little girl in size, and so it wasn't until I was about 19 where I decided that I'm going to give it a go. So I just asked my friends, do you want to play footy? And they said, oh crap, and we just sort of got together, made a team, and I haven't looked back since. It's been the best thing I've done. So
when you sat down and you had that conversation, you look across from your friends and you've probably, I guess you've spoken about it, but to genuinely proposition, let's go play footy, well, they're like, what the hell? What was the conversation like?
There were many questions. And it wasn't like I went and scouted girls that were really good footy players or touch players, tag players.
Yep.
It was just my mates. It was just my mates that I'd grown up with around Helensburgh, and we're all sort of the same sort of girls. We'll give anything a go, and we didn't realise, and we weren't aware of things like Gillaroos or a New South Wales girls team. We weren't aware of anything that was possible, so that was never a goal for us.
Yep.
Our goal was just to play something fun on the weekend for a change from netball, which I'd played for the last 12 years. So, we sort of said, let's give it a go. First things first, let's find a coach, because it's one thing watching the game and thinking you know the rules, but it's completely different being involved and being a part of it and playing. So, then we found a coach, which again was one of our best mates who had played footy for Helensburgh Tigers, and he coached us for 3 years, and my mum managed the team, and we just entered ourselves in the Illawarra comp down in Wollongong, and away we went.
And how many teams were in the Wollongong comp when you started?
When we first started, there were 6. There were 6 teams. At the moment, there's 4. So it's gotten a bit smaller, but the skill level's gotten a lot better. Yeah.
And I guess would have some of those teams come up to Sydney as well? Like, as in a lot of those girls would have moved up to Sydney, because I guess Sydney would have been, I'm assuming, the better comp because it's Sydney?
Yes. So Sydney is the better comp and the bigger comp.
Yep.
So it goes from Cronulla all the way up to Maitland and Newcastle, and out to the Central Coast, so it's quite large. And we moved up last year as a part of Helensburgh, and this year we're still the same team, but we're under the Cronulla Carrying Bar banner, just because it made a lot more sense. A lot of the girls live up here. Myself and one other girl are the only ones from Helensburgh, and it made a lot more sense to come up here and play in the Sydney comp. But it's really good still having the Illawarra comp. It's they are still very skillful, and it's a great opportunity for girls that live from the South Coast upwards.
And I guess, what was the biggest hurdle for you personally, as in, was it a matter of just like, let's go play footy, and you went and played footy, or was it like, oh, I don't know, what my friends might think, or I don't know, or was it simple or was it complicated?
I think to start off it was simple for me because I'm not a person that cares greatly about what people think. I'm a bit of a self-believer. If I believe I can do something, I'll give it a go, and I was there for fun. It wasn't until I played a knockout for the Illawarra side, and Piggy Riddell was there, and he asked me to come play in the Origin side that he was going to coach. It wasn't until then that I reached some hurdles because I just didn't think that I was up to it. It was only my second season in.
Yep.
And as far as I could see, rugby league at that time was a lot of girls taking one-up hits, just smacking each other.
Yeah.
And then here I am, 155 centimetres, trying to run around them.
Yep.
I just didn't think I was capable. So that was my biggest hiccup. Once I got over that, it just gave me a lot of self-belief and just went on from there.
So I guess you had a genuine love for the game. That outweighed any kind of... because we've got to remember, 10 years ago, if a girl said, I want to play footy, people are like, what do you mean you want to play footy?
Yeah.
And yet now it's like, cool, go do it.
Yeah, for sure.
So we definitely forget that it wasn't that long ago that people had this preconception, and I personally had that I was like, women playing footy, I don't know if they can handle it. And that was obviously incorrect. I was wrong. So that was never an issue for you. You were just like, no, I love this game and I just want to play it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think to this day there still are people that have that. They think that, women shouldn't be playing and all that sort of stuff. But we're all in it for the same reason. We just love playing. We love having fun. And I think the best thing that NRL and Fox Sports has done is exposed our skill, put it out there on TV. So one, younger girls can see, if I start playing, that's where I can be. That's what I can do, just like younger boys can do to NRL players. And two, they can actually see that we can play.
Yep.
We actually got a bit of skill level. We can tackle. We play exactly the same as the boys. Nothing different. That's the best thing, because when they couldn't see it, they just heard about it. They just assumed that it wasn't as good.
Yeah, it's and how rapidly it's improving. I mean, as I said when I spoke to you originally, a lot of Australian girls have that really solid base of touch. And I mean, there are a lot of rugby league players that don't have the same skills that touch players have when it comes to ball playing and everything like that. And as you said at the beginning, you just had one-art hit-ups. But as more women do come to the game, that skill level continues to rise quite rapidly, especially the last 12 months. Man, I couldn't believe it. Watching that Nines game earlier this year, I was blown away at how much I enjoyed it, genuinely enjoyed it, and how good the chicks were. Yeah. And I hope it gets to the point where no one's surprised. That'll be the best when no one's surprised, when everyone's just like, this is awesome. So you grew up in Helensburgh. Did you play any other sports, make any rep teams or anything like that?
Yeah, so I did surf life saving. So I did the beach sprint and flags. I was actually travelled up and down Australia in the New South Wales side.
Okay.
I did that until I was about 15.
Yep.
And then I also did little athletics, which
Little A's?
Yeah, little A's.
I was a little athletic dude.
And I did that until I was about 16 as well.
With the New South Wales state?
Yeah, so you went up to state as well with that.
Tell us, what you win? Did you win any?
I was a long jumper.
Yes.
And 200 metre sprint. I did the 100 as well.
What was your best long jump?
Oh, maybe like 5. I don't know, early 5s.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good for little legs, I thought.
That's really good.
I just would go run as fast as I can and just hope for the best, because I was up against all these lanky girls. And the 200 metres. So, I did little athletics, netball. I just had too much energy for netball.
Really?
Yeah, way
too
much
aggressive?
energy. Yeah, and you're not allowed to run. Like, I just wanted to let loose, and then...
And you got that contact, isn't it called contact?
Yeah, heaps of contact, as you can imagine. Very good at contacting.
Yeah.
And tag and touch. So I played for Australia for touch football.
Yep.
Until I was 21.
Oh, okay.
And then I basically was playing touch football and rugby league at the same time. And obviously at that age... it's different when you're at home and your mum and dad can help you out financially. But then you're getting a little bit old. You have your own job. You got to pay to play these sports. And so I just sort of had to pick it. It's time consuming as well. I didn't really want to spend my whole weekend playing all this sport and not have a life. I'm all about balance. It's what makes me happy. So I just picked one, and it's rugby league because that's what I love the most. Really?
I guess because, the safe option would be touch just because it has that foundation.
Yeah.
Whereas when you picked... that foundation for rugby league 100% wouldn't have been there.
And when I did pick, there was no knowledge of the Gillaroos New South Wales team, rep teams, doing things like this, going on the footy shows, nothing like that.
The Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, being on Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah,
you got the same sort of haircut, I guess.
Oh, jeez, now you're self-conscious the whole time.
You just need some blonde foils in there.
No, Matt might get it, actually.
So there was no predicted future of that. So it's basically touch footy, which I knew very well, played from a very young age. I had a good network of friends there. I was playing for my country, or I was playing club footy.
Ellensburg, bashing girls.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So that's what I chose, and it's the best decision I've made. It's really shaped who I am now, and I just love life because of what it's created from rugby league.
That's crazy. You know, it exemplifies a genuine love for the game.
Yeah,
because,
for sure.
And I mean, the even more ironic thing is it's taken you probably further than touch would have. You know, you're sitting here, the footy show, NRL.com. That would never have happened if you stayed with touch. Don't get me wrong, touch is great, and I'm sure it's growing and everything. Mm-hmm. I hope that the UFC does this with jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and stuff. So what they do is they bought the rights to those those competitions. Mm-hmm. So Eddie Bravo Jiu-Jitsu and stuff like that, and they put it on their website. Yeah. So I'd really like, I don't know if the NRL is doing something like this, I'd really like for the NRL to buy the Australian touch and sell it as a product, as a part of that, like the game that is quite similar within that. Anyway, that's it.
Well, I know they have an alliance with Touch Football Australia, but it would be awesome because girls could learn the touch skills, or even tag rugby league, and then all they've got to learn is the tackling, which is the most feared thing about recruiting girls, is because they're fearful of the tackling or getting tackled. But if you know everything else, you know all the fundamentals, then just learning the tackling's easy.
100%. And you've got this like thousands and thousands of more of women to choose, like to not choose from, but a filter into the system.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. And also, I just think that like if you did a nines tournament, it's just extra games you can play. You know, you can have a nines. Is it 9-a-side for touch? I forgot what it is now. 7-a-side? 6-a-side. You know, you could have the national touch tournament when we have the Auckland 9 tournament and have it at the same thing, and just have this one big. Anyway, that's a whole other story. I'll speak to you about investments after this. So do you have any, I guess, fond memories of touring with the girls on touch? I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Any embarrassing stories for the girls that any dirt you can dish on the girls, or some funny stories of when you were playing, or...
So my best trip going away was to England for the World Cup. That was amazing. It was actually a heat wave when we were over there. So it was predicted to be pretty cold, as England is, and it was actually, we went through the middle of a heat wave.
The heat wave was 18 degrees.
It was about 40 or so, and we had to play in that, which was pretty good. I'm just trying to think of some funny stories. I like to play pranks on people a lot.
Best prank then?
Yeah, okay. Well, this is a good one. This happened recently. At our test match, we stayed in Newcastle in a hotel, and we had rooms and balconies on the rooms. So one night, me and my two co-pranksters, Kezzy Apps and Maddie Sutton... Oh, you've thrown them under the bus. You've just put them under the bus. Well, we weren't caught out in the end, but I won't get to that yet. So then I jumped the balcony, and... I went into two of the girls' rooms and I flipped everything upside down. Like, not trashed it, just made them feel a little bit confused. So I put, like, the bed upside down, the TV on the ironing board, like, the lounges upside down, undies outside, all this sort of stuff. And then I left and I felt really bad. I said to Maddie and Kezzy, and because it's so much tension in camp, like everyone's very serious, they want to win on the weekend, they want to train well. I was like, oh, have I gone too far in lightening the mood? So I'm thinking, oh gosh, what do I do here? So one of the girls that I did it to, she loves chocolate. So I went and bought a chocolate and I put it at her door. I put 2 Freddo Frogs there. No, Caramello Koalas. Put 2 Caramello Koalas there. Oh, don't splurge. You just flipped the whole room apart. I invoiced her the $1 the next day. Spent 50 cents on 2 Freddo Frogs. That's okay. I trashed your room and your mini bar. But here's 50 cents. You may as well just left 50 cents there. This is worth your 2 hours of cleaning up. The thought that counts. And so... I left it. I didn't hear anything from it, and I just assumed people would think it was me because I'm always doing stuff like that. And the next day, I said to the girls that I trashed the room, "How's your how's your room? And she said, don't worry, I knew who it was. I've gone and trashed theirs and left the caramel koalas there because other girls had known that I had done it. And so they asked him in the morning, how's your room? And so they automatically went, it was them.
Oh,
so they jumped their balcony, trashed their room even worse, and left the caramel koalas at the door. So it was just a vicious cycle. In the end, my room my stuff ended up getting trashed, but it was well worth it.
That is good, Frank. Good camp banter. Those are the memories that you remember with your friends.
It's always important to lighten the mood. Everyone gets a little bit nervous that week, and it's really mentally straining and tiring by the end of the week. So it's always good to have fun like that. That's
good. The Freddos, oh my God. That is like insulting.
I didn't realise how scabby it sounded now that I've said it out loud. Like, I thought, I'm a good person. I've gone and got chocolate. Now I'm thinking, I probably should have just cleaned the room.
Yeah. 2 hours of cleaning for 2 Freddo frogs. Like their little 5-year-old.
Oh well, whoopsie. That's for next time.
Oh, now it's on. Now you've started the war.
Yeah, I know.
So, and you're the kind of the focal point of that war now.
Yep, I know. So I take great pride in it.
Oh, that was a good one. Very good one. So any memories when you went to England or anything like that?
It's a couple of years ago now, so I have to.
Do you still stay in contact with any touch girls and be like, you should come to footy? Like,
yeah, I do actually. Yeah. Especially now that the Nines competition is coming up. A lot of girls say like, oh, let me know what's happening with it. I'd like to give it a go. And I do. I keep in contact with a lot of the touch football girls, and one of the girls that I first started playing touch football with, she's still my best friend to this day. We catch up all the time, and Maddie Studden, our halfback, is actually someone that I first started playing touch football with. She's a couple of years younger than me, but we used to make the school rep teams together and then the Aussie rep teams together, and now we've moved to rugby league together.
That's crazy. I just think it's so amazing that like you made this decision out of pure love for the game, and at no point would you think that all of this would happen from it. No, and yet, you got thousands and thousands of people that enjoy what your product, that you're kind of the pioneers of. Is that something else that is extra pressure of you girls are like kind of the first women that are really showcasing the game? So you've got the added pressure of trying to win the game, but also the added pressure we have to put on a show here. And if we play bad, even though it isn't an example of what the game can be, but people will go, oh, that was boring because they played shit. They dropped 20 balls. Is that an added pressure? It's
never a pressure from our coaching staff, but I personally put a little bit of pressure on myself. But I thrive on that sort of stuff. So if not wanting to win isn't a big enough thing to go out there and do everything you can and play well and make your teammates play well and lift them up, it's knowing that you need to put on a good show so that people notice how good you guys can play. And we do have little conversations within our team and to each other, like, if we win this can happen, and if we play well, not even winning most of the time, if we just play well and play footy and show them that we can, then that's another positive step forward for women's rugby league.
100%. And like, as you're leaving this mark that, imagine in 50 years time how far the game's going to be, and you'll be 60, 70 or whatever, and you'll be able to look back. And and women's rugby league might be like women's MMA and just explode, and you'll be like, we were part of that. We were a part of that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I think in the State of Origin match. So that week was so awesome, but we were all so nervous.
Yep.
You think we wouldn't be because we'd never won before. So you'd think our mindset would be, doesn't really matter if we lose again. We've lost 17 in a row. But we all wanted
to be... Sorry about that. As a Queenslander, I just want to apologise to you.
I'm apologising to you for breaking the history. I'm sorry about that. We're the new winners here.
We can't help being this good. It's just a natural kind of...
Hey, if Queensland was that good, you'd be still living there.
That's a fair point. I'm just coming down here to just kind of... I need to talk to you as like a therapist and get you through this hard time.
Is this what this is?
Yeah,
one-on-one therapy.
Yeah, one-on-one therapy for you.
I'm feeling better about the win already. So that week we all just wanted to be a part of making history, not so that we could celebrate after, and although that was fun, and be like, oh, we made history, but it was because when we're older we could say to our kids or say to our family, I was actually a part of that group. I was a part of the New South Wales squad that made history, and it's exactly the same with the Nines that's going to happen. Like, I want to be able to say I worked my bum off to be a part of that Nines Cronulla Sharks side, or I worked my bum off to win the World Cup with the Australian Gillett Rouge. So we are all on the same page for that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I guess being the originals and I guess, you know, there wasn't much resources, so you have to have that passion to kind of negate the fact that there isn't much resources into the game as much as there could be in, I guess, you know, a few years' time. So your first game of rugby league, what was that like?
I still remember it was at Helensburgh,
yep.
Rex Jackson Oval.
Helensburgh,
it's so cold there.
Oh, just muddy and gross.
And yeah, that's exactly what it is right now. Yeah. And it was against Minto, which are quite a large side. And our first, so they kicked off, we were all very nervous.
Yeah.
But they kicked off, our forward caught it on the full, took a hitter, and just got flattened. She got taken back like 5 meters and flattened on her back, and everyone was just like, I don't want to take the ball. I don't want to take the ball. What do we do now? Yeah. And we ended up winning 60-something to maybe 4. I can't really remember, but it was quite a flogging. And from then on, it was sort of addictive.
Really?
You know, you get a bit sore after the game, but it's really addictive. And it just brings out real aggression in you and real mongrel. And I just loved it.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, growing up as a girl, you it's obviously changing, but you don't have those natural outlets.
Yeah.
You know, you're not promoted into it. Like, go to a boxing class or do this. It's changing, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess you wouldn't have tasted that before. That kind of like, I can fully just go crazy as much as I want here.
Exactly, and I think that why it was so addictive because you were new to that sort of feeling. And not that you go out there and intending to hurt people, but you just learn a new thing about yourself that you haven't been able to find in any other sport. Like I've done a lot of sport growing up, and there was never that part that I could just get in there and go as hard as I could. And I don't know, it's different. Even my husband says to me, like, it's really because I'm quite a happy-go-lucky person in life outside of footy, and he says to me, it's so funny when you're on the field, like you're just this little fiery thing that just like real angry all the time, and then as soon as I'm off the field, I'm like, hey, how are you? Like, I don't know, and I like that it brings that out of me. It's a different side, and it's a side I'm proud of, I guess. You know,
100%.
Makes a difference on the field.
Yeah, it's I'm the same. Like watching the girls, and you embrace it. You don't shy away from it, and that was probably the most surprising thing was how much the girls embraced the contact and aggression. Like I did not think that was going to happen. I thought that it would kind of be avoided and it would be like a more skillful but you genuinely embrace it, like, especially Australia versus New Zealand. Like, God damn,
yeah. Well, the thing is, if you don't embrace it, you don't. I wouldn't say fit in, but you probably don't enjoy it as much because that's what we all thrive on. So if you're not embracing the contact and everything about rugby league, it's probably not the perfect fit for you.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true. That's probably why I only lasted 50 or so games, because I did not embrace the contact.
Sorry, I'm putting salt in the wounds here. Maybe she'll put a wig on and come play for us.
You calling me a pussy?
Give it a go.
I'm getting shotted by chicks. It's like, God damn, I'm getting smashed by chicks too.
You cry and say, she hurt me.
They're so mean. Okay, so first game you loved it, and then things started progressing. Where was the first time when you ran onto the field and it was like stadium and it kind of hit you? You're like, wow, this is really progressing here. This is really coming along.
My first ever All-Stars game, so the All-Stars versus Indigenous, was at Suncorp. And everyone knows about Suncorp, how amazing it is, and I couldn't believe that I got to play there. Like I felt like I'm still learning the game. I'm not very confident. So this is like my second year in, and I'm playing on Suncorp, which I've been told about like by my dad growing up, how awesome it is and how the superstars play on there. And I think that was my first time that I've ever played on a big stadium. Previous to that, in the Origin matches and All-Stars, we were just out on a field in Woot Woot. So for my first 2 years in all our awesome games, like we were just a field in Caloundra or like similar to Rex Jackson in Helensburgh. So nothing too flash. And now we're playing in Suncorp. We're at the Auckland Nines, and that's Auckland Nines and the World Cup Grand Final in England were probably the two most overwhelming places I've played in because of the crowds. It's something we're not used to. We do play curtain raisers, but they're usually just some real loyal fans and your family there. The rest is a little bit echoey in the stands, but you know, it's really full at Auckland Nines. It's really full at the World Cup final. So, and which puts a little bit extra pressure on yourself, I guess, but I love it. It's awesome.
It's and when you think back to it, it's like, wow, that actually happened. Like, that actually happened.
Yeah.
And I didn't fully just like wig out and be like, oh my God.
As soon as you start playing, you can't hear a thing, don't you think?
100%. Yeah.
Like you just
zone into it.
Yeah, like my mum reckons she screams on the sideline, "Get off her head! Put your mouth guard into him!" But because it's always in my sock. And I can't hear her. She's like, "Why don't you listen to me?" I'm like, "I can't hear you. Don't worry about it."
I'm smashing bitches. Okay, so... And like for the game, the recent game, Australia versus New Zealand at the start of the year, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Was that nines or that was normal?
Test match and nines.
Test match and nines. You played awesome. You played fullback and you scored 2 tries or 1 try?
Couple at 9, 2 tries at nines, I think, and 1 at the test match.
And which was the one where you got hectically shotted by that big?
That was last year.
That was last year.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Man, I was like, God damn.
On the blind side, is that what you're talking about?
I think so, yeah. Balls.
Yeah.
What was that like? Was that the biggest hit you've ever been hit, or you've been hit harder?
One of the biggest. It didn't hurt too much. I was winded a lot.
Yeah.
But the best thing that came out of that, so that was on YouTube and Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was last Auckland night, so over a year ago. And again, it wasn't, women playing rugby league wasn't as big then.
Yep.
Just like this year isn't as big as it will be next year.
Yep.
So everyone was sort of like, my mum again was like, "Oh, they're saying that white girl got smashed." And I'm like, "Don't worry, Mum. I am white and I did get smashed. Like, don't worry too much about it." And I said to her, the best thing about it, look at it like this: the more people that see me getting smashed, the more people know we play. And
also, just how you handled it was so good, because it was like this chick got fully rocked, and This is the moment where you'd think, okay, this is where we're going to see the difference.
Yeah.
There was no difference. It was the same. It was just maybe even better. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like it was treated just the same. And I think it was, as I said earlier, it was like one of those situations where guys are like, this is just as good. And these chicks love it just as much and they play just as hard. So, even though you had to get smashed, it was a net positive for the game.
Absolutely. That's the way I seen it.
I got a scar still from it. And if they still replay at Dragons, I got absolutely...
that side?
Yeah, this side.
Yeah.
Just got an inside ball from Lockie. And it was a hospital ball. And I literally did a 360 in the air. And I still got that scar to prove it. So, yes.
Battle wound.
Yeah, I'm so tough.
I
tell people it was in a jail fight.
Attacked by a shark, but you won.
Yeah, I bashed Mick Fanning like I bashed 3 of his sharks. I was actually
3 of them.
3 of them. He was only 1 or 2. Like, what a pussy. That was. I think that was really telling time as well. So this Nines tournament, that was much bigger. Was the lead up any different? Like, what's changing for you guys? Do you think?
Just the exposure. I think it's taking people to back us. Our sponsors, I think having Harvey Norman as a sponsor, people will look at that and be like, they must be pretty good. They must be doing something right if someone like Harvey Norman is going to sponsor them.
Yeah, 100%.
And also the fact that the NRL and Fox Sports has really backed us and like, all right, we're going to put you on TV because we think you're good enough.
Yep.
I think that's made a big difference. The more people see us playing, the more it grows and the more popular it is, and then the more people play and the more girls we get to recruit, and it's just a massive cycle that keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yeah,
it's just so it's just such a good thing, especially as I keep referring to the UFC, but I just think they've done it so well. Yeah. So what has been your favourite moment on the field where you've gone, this is why I play footy, I love this, I love this game?
The 2 hardest games I've played have been the 2 best moments. So that was winning the World Cup in 2013. So that was my first time playing fullback. So I used to play in the halves. It's my first time playing fullback. I was one of the youngest in the team. First few games for Australia. I was overseas, my first overseas trip, and I was playing with girls that I'd known had played for years and years, paying their own way to play, getting loans to play. Wow. I was playing alongside these people that I think are legends. And we ran out onto the stadium, and there was heaps of Kiwi fans. And they had massive signs saying, 20th year in a row, and we were the complete underdogs.
Yeah.
Never won before.
Was this 2013?
Yeah, this was 2013. And we actually had lost to them in the round game.
Yep.
And we were just a nervous wreck, and we ended up winning. And it was one of the hardest games I've ever played. Completely exhausted, and it just, I think leading up to that, there were so many sacrifices made. Especially being a young girl, I was 22 or 21. And, that's the stage where all your mates are going out partying and they're going away on holiday, travelling, heaps of travelling, going away on holidays, getting boyfriends, whatever. And I was going on training every weekend. I was getting flown up at 4 a.m. on a Friday morning to Kingscliff and training my ass off all weekend.
Whoa, so you're flying to Kingscliff for the Australian team? Just they'd fly you up and then fly you back?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. So they couldn't even pay to let you stay there for a bit?
No. So we'd go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come home.
Yeah.
And we'd do that almost every weekend leading into the World Cup.
Oh wow. Okay. So most of the girls are working. See, I'm not even thinking.
Yeah. So and then that's the other thing. So you don't go on holidays because your annual leave is to play football.
Oh.
So that's the other thing. So all the Fridays I left, I'm taking annual leave plus then leave without pay to go overseas and play football.
Yeah.
So the moment where we made history and we won the World Cup for the first time and we were the underdogs and I was completely exhausted. That feeling of everything paying off and all those sacrifices paying off and the money and time and missing out on everything as a young girl, I was just like, this is so worth it.
Yeah.
So worth it. And even now, so the most recent time I felt like that is the State of Origin. Physically, that's the most beaten up I've ever been.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of time away from your family and your friends, and now that I've got my own business, which I'm extremely passionate about, I almost felt guilty leaving them all the time to go to training, to go up to the Gold Coast and play Origin because I was leaving them. I'm trying to help them achieve their goals and dreams, but then I also have to try and achieve my goals and dreams, try and weigh it up, and I felt bad for leaving them. And so as soon as we won and I felt like I couldn't even lift my arms up, I just thought, yes, it's all worth it. And knowing that I made my clients proud as well, and they were all behind me. They actually a couple of them told me they considered flying up to watch me.
Oh, really?
They're pretty awesome. Made it all worth it.
Man, that's so. What are some of the biggest sacrifices that some of the girls have made? Obviously everything's positive here, and we're talking about how great it is, but we're talking about the pinnacles. We're not talking about the dips in between, the tough times.
Yeah, which sometimes are the things that people don't know about or notice.
So what's been, some of the biggest sacrifices you or the girls have kind of made that you've heard of, I think?
Every person's different. So jobs are a massive one. A lot of the girls, I was speaking to a few of them earlier this year, and they had said, I haven't been on a holiday for 4 years.
Wow.
Because every time they go away, they're playing football. That's what they use, or they leave, or they've had to quit their job, which they thoroughly enjoyed, to go to another job or a part-time job so they could get all this time to play football, because that's how much they love it. Relationship breakdowns is a big one because you spend so much time away, especially if your partner is someone that isn't in the rugby league culture. They don't understand, first of all, why are you going away so much? You're not a professional athlete. Not that sounds bad, but really we're not. So why are you spending all this time, so much time, money, away from me and our friends? And I think they were the two biggest ones: relationship breakdowns and work.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really think of that because you're sitting there and you're a guy. Yeah. And so first you've got to be a guy and you've got to get all over your preconceptions about a chick playing rugby league. Because it's still there. It's still there. So that'd be intimidating for a lot of men.
Yeah.
And it 100% shouldn't be. It's only pussies that is intimidating to. But it is. And that's just a problem that we're still getting through. But then also you're sitting there going, you aren't professional and you are putting all this time and energy into this thing.
Yeah.
That isn't a professional job.
Yeah, and then you come home from playing or you come home from training and you can't work because you've rolled your ankle at playing, or you've, jarred your hand or whatever.
Yeah.
Then what happens in footy, and then so your partner's got to take care of you and try and work 2 jobs or something. I mean, I'm very lucky. My husband's an extremely understanding person, and he's very, very supportive. He plays football himself, so he loves it, and he loves that I play. And
he's like, yes, I check.
Yeah, he's very proud, and
that's awesome.
He likes that we on Friday nights we watch footy together and and talk about it. And I'm always.
Did you touch him up?
Pardon?
Did you touch him up? You reckon?
No. We used to get a lot of comments from our friends because we've got the same group of friends who grew up together in high school. And they all say like, oh, what are you doing, like dates? Do you just like put tackles on each other, light some candles and like put some tackles on each other?
Take it 10 times, do it. Do it again. Yes, it's so good. Great wrestle. Yeah. Put your head in closer. Don't chicken with me, you know that's illegal.
Oh no, we sound like the biggest nerds. No, so I have been very lucky in that case, but being around the girls, that's just stuff that we talk about, and we are each other's support system and network when it comes to stuff like that. You know, keep telling each other, it's going to be worth it. Yeah.
So dealing with the sacrifices, for yourself, what's been personally the hardest thing that you've had to kind of deal with? What's the biggest hurdle that's been put in front of you that you've had to consciously overcome?
I would say injuries. I'm pretty lucky usually. I don't get too many injuries, and I think the hardest thing is at the moment we're not professional, so we don't get a lot of support with rehab and that. We do get support. We don't get no support, but there could be more. So we do get a lot more injuries that we have to manage, and like I broke my leg last year, was out for 7 months, broke it twice, and it's just trying to come back from that, knowing that you don't know if rugby league for women is going to go anywhere. Yeah. And you start to question, is this worth it? Is this worth...
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I've had a few hits to my head as well, and I'm thinking, like, lately, is this worth it? Like, is it going to be worth it? Am I going to get there? But then when I have those moments that I was talking about on the field where you're on top of the world, you're like, this is why I keep coming back. This is why I love it.
That's why I'm addicted.
Yep, that's right.
I'm an addict. Give me more footy. So, growing up, who was your favourite player as a fan?
I liked Preston Campbell.
Oh, he's a gun.
I loved watching him. I thought he was real nippy and real fast, quick off the mark.
Yep.
And it was just because he made a really good impression on me when I was young. I went to a rugby league day. It might have been touch football rugby league when I was young in primary school, and I think I'd hurt myself somehow in some sport that I was playing, and I was sitting down on a footy, and he just came over and spoke to me, like, didn't know me from a bar of soap. I was only a little girl. Yep. And then helped me get up. He was just really polite, and I sort of thought NRL players were this, like, Hollywood, in this world of their own. I didn't know they were, like, genuine humans, and then he made that impression on me, and there were other players there, but he's the only one that sort of took his time out to talk to me while I was by myself. So, and then now I can see what other things he's done in the game to promote it. So,
Preston Campbell, man, he could literally turn nothing into something.
Yes.
He was so exciting to watch.
A little bit similar to Benny Barber, the way they play.
Yeah, definitely. But Preston was just so quick off the mark.
Yeah.
So we don't really have any tiny players like that anymore. Like
no.
Now that I think of, like, Benny Barber, he's still about 87, 90 kilos.
Yeah.
Whereas Preston Campbell was like 70.
Yeah.
Literally like 75 kilos.
Imagine a 70-kilo person running onto the field.
You know what I was when I played? 82.
Yes, that's pretty light.
That is so light. Man, I was so skinny, but I was quick.
Yeah, light.
We don't have any players like that anymore. So obviously, was Cronulla your team or Dragons?
Cronulla. Cronulla was
is this the PC answer?
No. Yeah, Cronulla, because my dad played for them. We sort of grew up just being Sharks fans.
Yep.
But the other side of my family, so my sister and her husband go for the Dragons, and my mum and dad and my brother and I and my husband go for the Sharks. So family feud sometimes, but we're going better than the Dragons now. So I'm happy to promote it at the family dinners.
What's it feel like to not have ever won a premiership?
Well, I don't really mind too much because I don't know what it feels like to win one. Do you know what I mean?
You've got no reference point.
Yeah,
so it's actually a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Let's look at it like that.
That's a silver lining.
Yeah. So it doesn't feel like a loss to me because we've never won. So Could
be this year.
I know. I hope so. I'll be at Northies.
If this year isn't the year for the Sharks, you'll be at Northies.
Yeah. Did you hear Did you hear Kyle Sandilands is putting 10 grand on the bar?
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's putting 10 grand on the bar. Apparently, I don't know if they make the grand final or they win the grand final, but either way, I'll be there.
Man, there's only one or two other teams that I would love to see. Titans, just because like they're the Titans and they're the Gold Coast and the Hayne plane has flown in.
Yeah. They're going pretty well. I reckon next year they're going to be unreal.
100%.
I mean, they're going well now, but
Pete's Ash Taylor. So Ash Taylor's the best young half in the game right now. Mm-hmm. Pete's one of the best hookers in the game. You could argue that he'll be in New South Wales next year.
Yeah.
Hayne at fullback. People forget how good Hayne was.
Yeah.
Go watch his highlights and then come back and tell me that he isn't one of the best fullbacks in the game. And that's a position they needed. Mead's a gun. Don't get me wrong. I think Mead's an absolute gun, but he's not a specialised fullback. I think he's he's a specialised finishing winger.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited for the.
You wouldn't have thought that like a year or two ago that Gold Coast would be where they are now, would you?
100%. I got a show called Bloke in a Bar where I just like talk about footy and stuff like that and sport. Just talk footy, man. Just talk about footy and that. And I said the same thing. I said 12 months ago, people were saying that they didn't even belong in the comp, that footy wasn't good on the Gold Coast, the demographics weren't all right and everything like that. And yet look at them now. They're getting massive crowds on a Monday night.
Yeah.
They nearly put your team to the sword.
The what?
The Titans, they nearly beat the Sharks last week.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my actual team. I was like, wait, is there a girls' team?
Wait, my team played an NRL men's team?
Yes, that was a great game, though.
Yes,
interesting to see how the Sharks come back from that.
Who's your favourite Sharks player right now?
Well, probably Chad Townsend because he's my husband's friend and I grew up in the same group of friends, but I think it's because obviously he's going really well, but I spoke to him earlier this year and he told me all the things he's been doing to get himself there and, and all his studying and stuff, and I just had a massive respect for him after that. I don't know, I just really admire people that work really hard to where they want to be instead of taking for granted their natural skill and just going with it. He seems to be working really hard and it's paying off for him. I'm really happy for him.
He's playing so good, good.
You wouldn't think him and Maloney, like if you just said at the start of the year, they're going to be a real good combination, you'd think, okay.
Totally agree, yeah. 100%.
And then now they just complement each other so well. I don't know how or why, but it just works and it's going really well.
Definitely, like they're yin and yang.
They are.
Yeah, they just work so well together. Maloney, they're just yin and yang. And do you have any funny memories with the girls, other memories with the girls that you can think of? Maybe something funny that happened on the field or any banter on the field or... I'm sure there was. Has there been banter? Is there banter in women's footy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm one of the people that I talk and then run. So, like, I'll say something and then let my forwards go in there. I'm like, go girls, get them.
Get them.
But I always like to pump my forwards up. So, every time they run, like, I think every run they took in the Origin game, I'd whisper something to them. So, the night before, we go around a circle and we say what it means to put on the Blues jersey and all this sort of stuff. And every time one of my forwards took a run, I'd whisper like something that they told me.
Oh, really?
Like one of them really wants a Jillaroos jersey and they were running at another forward and I'm like, take a jersey off her, take a jersey off her. And I'm like, rev them up and just funny stuff like that. One of our forwards is single and I really wanted to get a boyfriend. And I'm like, big hit, Rui, big hit. The boys will love it. Come on.
The boys will love it. Any stories, I guess, away on tour? You obviously had the prank one. Any other stories of embarrassing stories? Maybe chicks getting hit on or them hitting on guys? Or it's like, it's like you get a group of guys together, they're going to talk about girls. You get a group of girls together, they're going to talk about guys. Anything like that?
I'm sure there is. I just can't think. I should have thought about this. No, I can't think of it.
It's all good. What about your personal training business? How did that come about, and how much does it mean to you? And I guess what's the foundation of why you're so passionate about it?
I think I was being a PT, a qualified personal trainer for 3 years. And I always sort of did on the side. So at the start of this year, I was just doing group PT or boot camp sessions on the side just for fun, for free for everyone, just to go to the Rex Jackson Ovals, so Helensburgh Rugby League Ovals, and just train with me, just for fun, really, because I loved it. And then I'd go work at the NRL during the day. And then I just sort of sat down one day and I think I seen a quote pop up on my Instagram, and it said something like, something about creating your own life instead of just like going through the motions.
Yep.
And I just thought, we get to create our own life. People get stuck in the routine and ruts of life. Like, you've got to go to school, then you've got to do your HSC, then you get a job, you save up, you get married, you have a baby, you get old. That's pretty much the pattern. Yeah, that's what people think you got to do in life. And then you just enjoy these little things in between.
Yep.
I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make my own routine up.
Yep.
I'm going to give a go at my own business. Why would I want to work for someone else when I can help myself?
Yep.
Pick my own hours, because why would I want to work all day when living's so much better and so much funner?
Yeah, 100%.
So I thought, well, I love PT. Why don't I give that a go? And so that's what I've been doing. And I'm just so passionate about it because I just know that training and being healthy majority of the time can just give you a better quality of life.
Yep.
And it's not that people don't do that on purpose. It's just that they're not aware of it, and they never get themselves into that routine of training and stuff to realise that they can be the better best version of themselves. So I take great pride in my company, and I love it. When I'm not there, I'm always thinking about it. I wake up in the middle of the night, write a program in my phone because I'm just always thinking about it. Yeah, I just love it. And we've already done a challenge at BCC, and it was an 8-week challenge, and my clients just achieved amazing results. So what I've tried to do is make it a team environment, because I know that training by myself, which I have to do a fair bit with the Gilleries because I don't live really near anyone that is part of the Gilleries as well. I try and make it a team environment because people going to the gym these days, they either do it because it's a fad and they think it's the cool thing to do, I guess.
Yep.
Take a photo, put it on Instagram that they went. And then the other one is because it's like their hobby now. People used to play sport a lot, which they still do, which is great.
Yep.
But other people go as a hobby. So I try and make it a team environment. So we do a lot of team competition stuff, and we verse each other on a lot of stuff. And every Saturday we have a new challenge. So I'll say, all right, this Saturday I'll meet you at Wanda Sand Dunes. And then I'll take a rope and we've got to do something up and down the hill, or we're climbing a mountain in the national park. And I just make it really interesting for them, and
create a community, so it's like they're going to their second kind of family or whatever.
And that's exactly how they explain it. And we've got a page, and we have nutrition challenges each week, and so this week they've all got to eat breakfast, because it's amazing how many people don't eat breakfast.
I struggle with it.
It's the first thing I do, and I wake up, I'm like, yes, I get to eat.
My God, I don't know, I just don't. I like to have a protein shake, so I think try anyway.
Oh, it's better than nothing.
Also, can I get some more nutritional tips? Can you just write a program real quick? That sounds awesome. Especially, I like the idea of just creating your own life, especially with technology these days. It's just like so easy. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy, but there's so much opportunity there for people that a lot of people just haven't got it in their mind yet that you don't need 1 million people to enjoy a product.
Yes.
To have a company that can give you a good lifestyle. Yeah,
exactly. And the other reason I wanted to do it is because of all the time away with footy that I have.
Yeah.
I thought if I have my own company, I can do every opportunity that rugby league throws me. I don't have to beg work if I can get it off, or feel bad for taking more time off and then
worry about getting sacked as well.
Exactly. And then taking my computer away with me because I've got to catch up on all this work and all this sort of stuff. So I did it for that reason, and also because I want to travel the world. I want to travel it playing rugby league, but I also want to travel it for myself and just experience it. Exactly. So I get to do that having my own company.
100%. That's I totally agree with you with the show that I created. It's I try to explain to people the difference in waking up in the morning. It is not work. You're waking up to do what you're put here to do.
Yes.
Or not necessarily put here, but you're living your life, but you're also working, but it's not work.
Yeah.
So each day is...
It's a good feeling, isn't it? Oh. Hey, how good is Sunday night when you're like...
It's not Sunday night. Yeah. Every night is Saturday night.
Yes, exactly.
That's what it feels like for me.
It's a great feeling. I'm glad you feel the same way.
Oh, 100%.
More people should be doing this sort of stuff.
And they can. They really can. Okay, let's say you need to earn $1,000 a week, and that's going to get you across the board. That is very attainable if you start something small. Let's say you've got your normal 9-to-5 job. when you get home at 5 o'clock, you take care of yourself, and then for 4 hours work on your side project, and then just do that for a year. And I guarantee you, most people within a year will be earning just enough money. You might be earning 600 or 700. You can reduce your hours to 2 days a week at your normal job, and then you slowly transition out. There's a lot of opportunity, and it's hard though, because like we were in our generation, we were brought up by parents that it was the right thing to go and work for a big company. That was what they did. Earning money like that was the only opportunity they really had.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas it's different now.
Do you think it's fear that people don't do it? Is that why?
I think it's self-belief. I think a lot of people don't have self-belief. Yeah. Like, it's crazy, and like most people like wouldn't agree with this, but there's, in my mind, even though I know it's not rational, in my mind I think there's nothing that I can't do. Like, even if you said to me, you've got to be an NBA player. Yeah. I know rationally I probably couldn't, but actually I really think I could. If I trained hard enough. Yeah, we have the same brain, I think.
So
self-belief is a huge lacking thing in society at the moment. For sure. Because the way things are advertised, they're advertised in a, you need this and you don't have this, and we can fill that void, we can fill this for you.
Well, that's right. People concentrate on things they don't have instead of things that they do have.
Yep, 100%. So that's my kind of mindset, and I find that because I do, listen to a lot of podcasts with guys that have been successful, and there's a vein that runs through all of those kind of people, and it's that kind of self-belief or whatever. And I asked all the guests this. I was about to say I asked all the guys this, and I was like, it's not like that anymore.
No, Ellen, it's not.
I got to say guys and girls.
That's it.
I got to say a gender neutral thing now. I'll have to think about that later. But anyway, all the guests ask this. Favorite rapper of all time.
Favorite rapper?
Yep.
Oh.
Little white girl. Yeah. Blonde hair.
Little white girl.
Rapping to 50 Cent in the car, probably.
Yeah, I like 50. I don't mind 50. Yeah. Because it reminds me of like school dances.
Yep.
I don't know how you used to get real into it with no alcohol. That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah, I know. You just didn't care. I
was 13, and I didn't even know what the words meant, but... and I like Eminem because... I don't know what it is about him, but you just catch on to his lyrics really quickly, and there's something really exciting about knowing all the words to a rap. It's like a real accomplishment. You get out a paragraph and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That is true, and it's like... It's a sense of relief when you finish the rap without missing
I know.
Like, yes, did
it. Here they go again.
Favorite movie of all time?
I like Dinner for Schmucks.
Dinner for Schmucks. Is that with Stephen Carell?
Yes.
Yep. And he's like real dumb, has those rats.
Yes. Yep. God, he's hilarious. Yep. He dresses the rats up.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched that a fair bit. That's pretty funny. I only like to watch comedies, really, because the really, Inception and all that sort of stuff, it's just too much on the brain. And, you got to think for, 3 hours.
I love that shit.
Really?
Oh.
So I'm the person so why is that person doing
no.
this? Yeah, I'm that person.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's me. And then sad movies, I'm like, why would you do this to yourself?
Yeah, that's true.
What do you want to make yourself sad for?
I'm that with scary movies. Why would you pay yourself to scare the shit out of yourself? If I wanted to scare myself, I'll walk around King's Cross.
It's not enjoyable. You come out real anxious. Yeah, so Dinner for Schmucks, Coach Carter.
Oh, yep.
Great one.
Remember the Titans?
Yeah, Remember the Titans. Yeah. No one would hate Remember the Titans.
Yeah,
That's
if you do, you're
movie.
a friggin' Hitler.
Yeah, then...
You're a Nazi if you hate
anything funny or inspiring.
Yep. Agreed. Favourite footy moment? I haven't actually asked this, but favourite footy moment, remember a grand final or something as a kid that you were sitting there going, oh, yes, that's the moment. Probably 2014 New South Wales Origin finally breaking the drought.
I just remember, instead of an actual footy moment, mine would be every Origin every year.
Yep.
When I was younger, we'd have party pies, sausage rolls, and pastries, and put them all on the table in the lounge room, and all our family would come over and sit on the ground in beanbags and watch the Origin.
Yep.
And just cheer for the Blues. I don't know. I know that's not a NRL moment.
Oh, but it's still a rugby league moment. Rugby league is bringing you together.
Yeah. So when we got back from the World Cup, we went to the grand final, and we went into the corporate room, and that was pretty cool. I liked being there and watching. That was the first grand final I've actually
Cowboys,
been to.
Bronx?
No, it was
Because I was at the Cowboys-Bronx ones. That was hectic.
I think it was Roosters. It was Roosters someone.
Roosters, not Rabbitohs. Roosters... Doggies, maybe?
Possibly. 2013.
Yeah,
who knows? But, that was a pretty cool experience. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to this year's.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been extremely interesting. I really hope the game continues to grow. I don't even think it's a hope thing because it is a good product and it's enjoyable to watch. So the game will continue to grow, and I hope that you guys. What I do hope though is you start getting more resources, and who knows, in 3 or 4 years maybe there could be some full timers.
Yes,
that would be cool.
Yeah, we can come back in 3 and 4 years. I'll be full time. We'll have Ellen DeGeneres, 50 Cent,
Will Ferrell,
Steve Carell.
They'll all be here.
And Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem, 100%. Man, if Eminem was here, I'd be prostrated on the floor like that with my head to the ground, kissing it. If Eminem was here.
That's great.
All right, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.